Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome for the first time. My name's Joe Malloy and I'm a shaman and an evolutionary astrologer. And in this video, Saturday 17, 2026, I took took a moment to remember that. I want to give a little time to looking at this weekend's new moon in Capricorn. So I'm going to pull up the chart for the new moon and we'll have a little look at that. Here we go. Okay. So tomorrow evening in the UK, 8 o'clock, earlier? Gosh, I get my times forwards and backwards. It's going to be earlier in the day if you're west of where I am, maybe West Coast America, anywhere in the Americas, um, or later in the day if you're east of where I am. In any case, they're all going to be in the same place. Sun and Moon in Capricorn conjunct. Now, I just want to speak about this for a minute. It might be obvious and everyone might know this already, but they're sitting here side by side, the symbols for the moon and the sun, and yet they're actually about 93 million miles apart. It's a big distance, isn't it? So if we were looking top down onto a view of the solar system, we'd have the sun in the middle and then the orbit of each planet around it going outwards. And we'd get to the Earth, and then you'd see the moon going around the Earth, and we'd see that the moon is nearer the Earth than it is the sun by a long, long way. But this is an Earth-centric view. We want to look through astrology always at the influence of the planets and the archetypical energies that they represent in relation to us on Earth. If we were to look at it in a heliocentric way from the sun, yes, then that's what we would see. We would see everything in a geometric, is it geometric in a distance real kind of relationship around the sun. But we don't live on the sun, or at least I don't. We live on the earth. So that's why we look at it this way. And tomorrow evening, Sunday evening's new moon occurs in Capricorn. And not only that, we also have Mercury down here and Mars in Capricorn conjunct the new moon, and Venus a little ahead, and Pluto and Vesta ahead, but still conjunct the new moon. And there is only 7 degrees between the beginning and ending of the stellium. So it's very intense, very powerful. The way it's going to show up in your life depends on your birth chart. So the ascendant is going to be Virgo at the time, but relative to you, you want to know where these planets are in your chart. For example, in Cancer, let's pick one of these. So in Libra, if we move Libra back, yes, it's going to move these planets back into this house. I'm going to put a chart up at the end and try to do that on a regular basis so that where you might just want a quick look and work out where they are, which house, what part of your life, yes, what area, aspect of your day-to-day life they're going to show up and have an influence in. You can get an overview. You can always contact me and have your chart drawn up and book a reading if you wish and go more into the details of this to get more from it. But you can also create a basic birth chart from websites like astro.com or AstroSeek, I think also does it. So here we are. This is the picture. At the moment of the new moon, you can see also the sun is in the fifth house. Well, the sun and moon in the fifth house. So the fifth house usually natively ruled by Leo. It's this natural kind of affinity and energy, and Leo ruled by the sun. So it's going to have an added emphasis for the sun because it's in its own sign. All righty. So what else can I tell you about this? How we make 93 million miles between the sun and the earth look like a tiny, tiny gap. All right. We have layers, cascading influences. Yes, I've made some notes here because there's so much I want to talk about. not only our birth, you know, but every event in history, every event, whether it's a birth, a marriage, a death, start of a new project, business, something like that, or even the beginning of a new country, like the United States of America is celebrating 250 years this year. But it celebrated its Pluto return, the return of Pluto, the a planet that holds the evolutionary journey of the soul, back in, where were we? 2022? I wrote that down, but I can't see it. Yeah, 2022. Pretty sure it was. So, from a human focus, we find anniversaries like your first anniversary, first birth, the 10th, for growing up, 18, 21, right? Marriages, first, second, they all have affiliations with paper and gold and minerals. Into your 40th anniversary, 50th anniversary, your 100th birthday anniversary. As anyone with an interest in looking at the evolution of the soul or the evolution of an institution or country, you know, we might look and say, well, 234-ish years from 1776, if my memory is right, 4th of July 1776 to 2022. It's 236, I think, actually. There's a little bit of variation. It sees the first Pluto return. Um, and what did that look like? I know over here, Queen Elizabeth died and was replaced by her son, Charles, who's now the king. We had a lot of innovations with AI. There was social change going on in America, so there is anyway, everywhere, all over the world. But actually, when we think about the Pluto anniversary of the United States of America, in 1776, we could look at it more independently as an entity in its own right, but the world has shrunk. So what happens in one place has a great influence on the rest of the world and everything that happens everywhere else. So we want to look at the changes in America relative to the whole of the globe when we look at these things. But let's try and come back to the new moon, right? There's so much going on. You can see at the point of the new moon, there is still a very supportive trine with Uranus, the planet of liberation, liberation from the known. It's going to be in Taurus, so it's going to relate to beliefs and values. Yes, Uranus is a slow-moving planet, so it's taking its time working through Taurus. In fact, it's nearly got to the end, about to transit into Gemini. But as you can see from the red numbers, it's retrograding back, going back in, doing a bit more before it leaves. And isn't that the picture in the world around us at the moment? We're being asked, invited, encouraged, some may feel pushed to re-examine our beliefs and values. And this is part of personal, but also societal change. The outer planets represent longer cycles. Yeah, so we think Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto represent bigger change, societal change, global change, world change. And the personal planets, the ones that move more quickly, they move through the signs more quickly. I mean, the moon spends just a couple of days in each sign each month because it goes all the way around the zodiac through each of the signs in 28 days. So if, like me, your planetary ruler is the moon, do you know, it kind of explains where you can be up and down and left and right from one day to another almost as you go through very different phases. But you also know those phases don't last too long. So that's a little bit of a picture and an overview. We still see Neptune and Saturn supportively sextiled by Uranus and by the new moon, the sun and the moon together. So there are a lot of influences. Saturn represents time, structure, order, our place in the outer world. And it has been closing in on Neptune. And Neptune has been doing the work to dissolve old beliefs, old societal structures. And if you look at your life, you look at the world around us, I think it's very much the picture. Now, the thing is that not everyone deals with these changes as easily as the other. or one thing more easily, something else more difficultly, but we all go at different paces. So the time we've been giving to doing personal work or inner work is going to be of incredible value now. And whatever time you come to the table with this, it's never too late. Okay. Late is really relative to time, but it's a human concept, an egocentric concept. I'm on time, I'm on late, I'm late, I'm early. And we give different values to these. And now we have a totally different picture. We're looking at life through a lens informed by natural law, Sagittarian law, all right, philosophy, natural law, rather than man-made law. We're looking at cause and effect and the interrelationship between everything, yeah, rather than a linear process, linear thinking. And that's a challenge, isn't it? Because we get very comfortable and we feel secure in the belief that everything to us is the way it appears to be. And it's not. We're being invited to step into a more spiritualized consciousness and in a collaborative way with each other. Okay. So, what else can I tell you? What else would you like to know? What else is going on in your life? Maybe if you tune into that and I tune into you, even though I'm already writing these things down, speaking these things, I've already written this stuff down that I wanted to share, but some of it goes out the window. Maybe we can tune in together. Change isn't easy, yeah, especially when a lot of things come all at once. And when it comes like that, we think of it as a crisis. And why is the world doing this to me? Instead of how has it come to be like this in this way? Where is it going? What's the purpose? Where has it come from? These are not isolated events. We are on journeys of evolution. That's why our soul incarnates in human form, because it wants to have an evolutionary journey. It wants to experience, and we evolve and grow through the emotional body, through the water signs. So always looking at these times, Jupiter in Cancer, yeah, Lilith in Scorpio. The north node of the moon, our soul's collective identity, the direction it's trying to progress in, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. This is where the evolution happens, the change happens. So societal change, dissolving of all structures, is part of our collective and individuated evolution. This is the mechanism. Now, I've been seeing a few social media posts. They're really interesting, but they seem some to be focusing on an idea that there is going to be some kind of ascension or rapture, and many souls are going to leave. I have even listened to a kind of maybe fear-based perspective that souls are going to leave because they can't stand it here. It's too much. People are going to die. Oh, it's a terrible thought. I think it's very misguided. The soul is calling this in, and what it's looking for is a container. Yes, and that's what we're getting. We're moving Saturn towards, in a month or so, we're moving towards a new relationship. Yes, with the dissolving aspect, the spiritual aspect, with transcendence. And we're going to start to create instinctively a new structure to hold our consciousness and our idea of who we are and our place in life and the world around us as we go through it. But we're not quite there yet. First, we've got to see how we're held by the past. So, what is it now? I think Pluto's got another 17 years in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Okay, so remember Pluto's evolutionary theme at the moment in Aquarius, collaboration, new age thinking, new age technologies, AI technologies, all of these things come underneath Aquarius. This is where Pluto is working at the moment. And its focus at present with Uranus that rules Aquarius in Taurus is an emphasis on the beliefs and values that we have that keep us limited. Uranus speaks to us about freedom from the known, and this is what we believe. And what we believe, we generally believe to be fact or to be real, but it's not always the case, is it? Right. Every planet sits in a house and a sign. Yes, and it makes aspects with all the other planets. So these are the things we need to pay attention to. There is not one size fits all with astrology. There never has been, although it's been portrayed that way a lot of the time, and there never will be, I don't think. We are all uniquely different. We are all souls in human form, as I understand it. But each one of us is different, different characteristics, different preferences, different families, different circumstances, different lives. The soul is evolving diversely and making the most use of every opportunity that it can. Whether we are aware of these cycles and patterns in our life or not, no, I believe that we all sense them at some level. There's a sensory experience. And if we sense something but we don't understand it, then it triggers our fight flight response and our fear response. We then understand it through the lens we're using to look at what's happening around us, even if we can't see it. These changes in social order will create feelings of insecurity, or in someone else, feelings of optimism and hopefulness. It's going to change at last. You don't have to keep pushing the river because the river knows which way to go. So just the sun and the moon coming together in this way at the new moon is one event in itself. But I mean, this event happens every 28 days. And it doesn't always happen in relation to these other aspects and other positions of the planets. And that's what I try to kind of get across. The sun, moon, full moon, new moon, conjunction, opposition is a regular event. But each cycle offers us a different opportunity to bring light into our own lives, to illuminate our own journey through life. And when we can see something, it's much easier to work with, isn't it? Mm. Hey, so where this is going to be for each of us individually depends on your birth chart. I'm going to put this chart up at the end. I'm just going to point to it now so you can see. Here, 12 charts. When you look closely, you can see that if we just look at this triangle made between the sun, moon at new moon, Saturn, Neptune, a sextile, and Uranus, another sextile, and then the trine between the new moon and Uranus. All right, it's the same shape. All of the planets are in the same relationship with each other. Whatever is on the ascendant, yes. So if your sun sign is Aries, you're going to look at this first chart and you're going to see the stellium in the 10th and 11th houses, but it's going to be in your 10th house. Yes, the new moon. If we switch to Taurus, okay, then we see it shifted. The Taurus is on the ascendant, and we see that the new moon is going to be in your 9th house. Okay, all the way back to Pisces. So if Pisces is on your ascendant, then the new moon is going to be in your 11th house. All right, we started in the 10th house, we finish in the 11th house. So I just appeared to move between this bit and a minute ago on the screen is because my sister, my lovely sister Julie just came to the door to see what I was doing. And we spoke for a few minutes and I completely lost my spot, but I can't rewind the video until it's finished. So I hope this joins up. Sometimes there needs to be a change of track. Yeah, we don't think we have a plan. There needs to be, what is it they say? Men make plans. I'm sure it's men, not women, but men make plans and the gods laugh. So that's where we are. All of this happens in real time. I have a script today. All right, 1,700 words of wonderful inspirations. At least I think so. But but that might just be the structure. And clearly, Neptune is doing its effect and my structure is dissolving. So coming back to these charts, let's just come back to the main chart. And you can even, while you're listening to me, you could put your finger on the one chart and imagine that we move it around. Okay, so Virgo there, if you're a Libra, all right, just imagine turning it. So instead of everything being here, it's going to be here. What I want to get to is that what's happening is inner transformation. Yeah, no one is leaving this planet, you know, unless Elon Musk um, builds a big ship or something. I don't know. No one is leaving this planet. This is where the evolution happens. That's why we're here. Yes? And it's not the soul that wants to leave. It's the ego, right? And the ego is created by the soul. And our ego identity, the kind of ego identity the soul wants to form in this lifetime, is represented by the moon's placement, by house and sign and relevant aspects to other planets in your birth chart. For those of you who want to, haven't done already, get your chart done. Pop me a message, have a reading, go online, do it yourself, do it for free. Depends. Oh, there's ping pong going on in the background. I hope you didn't hear that. Okay, inner transformation. So you can support yourself in a number of different ways that I've thought of, and you can probably think of many more. One is to commit to and start a meditation practice, 10 minutes each day. If you're like me and you tend to wake up in the night and think a lot, there's an opportunity. It doesn't interfere with my daytime routine. I lie in bed usually. I know I'm not going to fall asleep straight away, and I do my little Kriya yoga practice. Yeah. Or you can just sit there and follow your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice what comes to your mind. Let it go as you breathe out. Notice what you feel in your body. Become aware as you breathe in. Let it go as you breathe out. Or very simple, like the cross of purification, you can either extend your arms at shoulder height or imagine they're extended. If you're sleeping with a partner or a baby or like a cat Willow in the bed, you don't want to flop your arms around because it'll wake them up. So just imagine your arms are extended and you breathe in from the right side. Hum, sa, hum, sa, kriya. Hum, the sound you intone or imagine in your head as you breathe in. Sa, as you breathe out. Simple thing. You'd be surprised how helpful it is. Make time in the day to do something that grounds you in nature so you become comfortable at home in your body. Yeah. Simple things. Drink a bit more water. But meditation, give yourself 10 minutes. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a teacher. You can just sit and watch your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. It also helps to keep us out of a fear-based mentality. Yes? All right. Soul doesn't need or want to resist this process. The resistance originates from the uneducated ego. So get your ego to school. Help it get on board with your evolutionary journey. Humanity have lived through war, plague, industrial revolution and change, social change, reorganization, so much more and everything. And we're still here. And we keep coming back. Our souls want to stay and continue the journey. Yeah. If you're finding it difficult, reach out for help. Old systems will break down. Okay. This is part of the natural order of things. In the past, we have recreated the new system from the old system. And it's just been a minor improvement, an incremental improvement. But now we have the opportunity for an exponential evolutionary step to create from something that we've never had before. The future becoming that we're heading towards. You will feel, I will feel, we'll all feel the pressure of change at time, but it's not intended to overwhelm us or create suffering. Yeah. This is a construct of the mind, of the ego. That's how we understand why life is difficult. I must have done something bad. I must be bad. I must have got something wrong. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. God doesn't like me. I told a fib, a lie when I was 4, and I never told the priest when I went to confession. And this shadow is stalking me like some kind of hungry, carnivorous beast that wants to feed on me. These are horrible thoughts, and we create these in our mind. This is created as the man-made understanding, not natural understanding of the phenomenal reality of existence. The phenomenal reality of existence. Everything is shifting to support our evolutionary change and growth. Yeah. Old patriarchal structures, linear and limited worldviews, false certainties, and disembodied transcendence narratives. All right. Stories that you're going to stand on a hillside and you're going to be beamed up. All right. This is all fiction created by the egocentric nature of the mind. The mind misunderstands. The mind misunderstands sometimes because it finds it hard to comprehend that we are closer to our God nature than we realize. We are souls in human form. You just don't know it. Or we don't remember it. Old patriarchal structures, right? Watch how it happens. Your soul is maturing, not diminishing. It is growing. If you pay attention to how you live and what's happening in the world around you and see it as a reflection, you're going to see this. When patriarchal structures begin to dissolve and diminish, relationships will change, social order will change, our sense of position in relation to other people is going to change. Yes? So we need to have an understanding that as those things change and disappear, we are not disappearing and we are not becoming less. We are becoming more. Get into your body. This thing, right? This vehicle, your body. This is our home for this lifetime. Make it your home. Look after it. Listen to it. Ask it what it needs. Seek out practices and people who support and help you that are informed by these principles, these natural law principles. Evolutionary astrology, yes. Shamanism. I mean, I practice both. I walk with both. They inform my life. They make such a difference. Bring what helps and nurtures and nourishes you into your life, and it will. Oh, there are 2 examples, right? But you'll find more. These are collective initiations. We are stepping into new cycles all the time. Okay, well, will be soon. You see these balsamic relationships. Venus ahead of the sun. Venus will move ahead of Pluto. Saturn will move ahead of Neptune. New cycles, and we're about to step into them in the next 6 to 8 weeks. New beginnings. This is where we begin to translate cosmic language into embodied truth. Think of it that way. Here is where we step into translating cosmic language into embodied truth. Uranus, freedom from the known. Anything can happen. Everything can happen if you have opened the door for it in your life. So I'm going to put up this last slide. You can have a look again. Your rising sign is about the 9 o'clock clock position on the left-hand side. And please do get in touch, pop me a message. And I look forward to seeing you across the screens if not in person or in other ways soon. God bless and so much love. Let's get your other picture for you. There we go. So it'll finish on this, and you can pause just here. Bye for now.